How's it going? Very good.
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, man.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for being in the house.
Dude, 100%. It's been awesome.
There's some crazy stories that we're just about to share. But before we do that, guys, welcome to Nomadic Closer Podcast. My name's Joel Elstar. And today we're interviewing Danny. Danny is one of the members in the Nomadic Closer House, one of the 8, actually. And we're just going to dive in. We're going to learn a bit about Danny's experience and the crazy things we've been up to. But before we get in, bro, talk to me about your slippers.
I love these.
Because you're always wearing them.
Yeah.
I've seen you went clubbing with them as well. So do you ever take them off?
No, they're my go-to. Super versatile. I mean, we have the luxury, the pleasure of being able to work from home, work remotely, where nobody sees your shoes.
That's amazing.
You could be comfortable in the office.
I like it.
I rented an office when I was in Connecticut back home. I'd walk in wearing sweatpants, sweatshirt, these shoes. These old guys are like, who the hell is this kid? Rented an office, wearing slippers, sweatpants, all comfortable.
People thinking, who's this kid? The kid making more money than you.
I didn't
Everyone's
say
there suited and booted.
Yeah.
I love that, bro.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Bro, I want to know, why did you join Nomadic Closer House? Because you've been doing very, very well in your career. And it's a bit of a crazy idea to leave your environment, go somewhere and be amongst like other closers that you never met before and start doing crazy activities. Like, what made you even just think, okay, this is something I want to do?
That reason, exactly, right? Because it was crazy. It's crazy to the average person, but I mean, that's ultimately what it takes. I was cooped up. I was doing very well financially with my career, with sales.
When was this?
This was from December to January, February when I decided to join.
Okay.
And it was the perfect fit because I was making good money, but I wasn't enjoying that money. I was sitting in an office. I was waking up, going to the office, working all day, going home, eating, going to sleep every single day, not doing anything else. And to me, it was the perfect fit, being able to, number one, learn from people like yourself, like Adam, Harlan, and the other people in this house, and then get out of my room, get out of my comfort zone and do cool things. It's exactly what I needed, what I wanted, you know.
But there's a difference between needing and wanting, right? Because you said you were making really good money, but you was trapped in like this rat race of just making money, going to the office in your slippers, people looking at you thinking, who's this guy? But why wasn't that money making you happy?
Because I think there's more to life than just money, right? It's not about money. At the end of the day, when we're on our deathbeds, we're not going to look back to the $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 months that we had, or, you know, the number in our account or the real estate that we have or anything like that. We're going to look back on what all that allowed us to do. The memories. And for me, like, being able to make this money, all that is the vehicle of value. The vehicle that allows me to do the things that I actually want to do, like travel, like be around cool people, you know, have cool experiences. And that's ultimately what it did.
But it's interesting you say that, because there's two ways of looking at it. One way is, I'm going to wait till I'm making 30, 40, 50 grand a month and then start going traveling and having these experiences. But then there's the other side where it's like, well, I don't need to make that much to start living these experiences. Yeah. So what comes first?
It's a great question.
Now that you're in a situation where you have been making money and you have experienced this, if you would have experienced this before making the 40 grand months, would you have done it sooner?
I think so, because I think it stimulates that type of growth. And more than anything, I think it motivates you to actually get to this point where you get a taste of what it's like to be at the top, and it just motivates you to work harder and make more money, which then just repeats the cycle. Now you're upward spiral.
100%. I speak to so many people where they're like, oh, I love your life. I've been watching you on Instagram. Like, how can I do it? I'm not making enough money. I said to them, well, give me an idea how much you're making at the moment. I'd know about 2 grand a month. You can fucking travel around the world at 2 grand a month. Yeah. You don't have to wait till you're making 10, 20, 30 grand. And the thing is, when you do start traveling, you do start experiencing these things, like, okay, well, how can I make more money? Or you start going networking and you meet people and there's opportunities that open up all the time. So I don't think people need to wait to start earning crazy amounts of money to become a nomadic closer, right? Or a nomad. So I'm glad you're here, bro. I'm glad you're here. What was the biggest thing that you was kind of like a bit concerned about? You're going into a house with 7, 8 random guys, plus you've got myself, Adam and Harlan, not really knowing anyone and thinking, oh my God, I've got to be with these guys for like 30 days.
Yeah.
Was it only like doubt, or was you concerned about anything?
Maybe a little bit, because I had never, and it's funny, and this is one of the other reasons I decided to join, I never met anybody in the space, never met anybody in person doing the same thing that I was doing. Yeah. So I didn't know how it would go. And it's super powerful to actually see how it went in person. Just getting here, and day one, we walk in the door, I sit at the table, and I have like this hour-long conversation with Q, you know, one of the guys here.
Amazing.
It's like we had known for 10 years. Yeah. And I think that's the power of actually getting out of your room and getting involved in this stuff in person. It's so much more powerful to have those conversations. Just more, it's actually in the same room, just super powerful.
It's just a much easier way to grow much faster.
Yeah.
You know, like seeing you guys sitting around the table at lunch, at night, talking about life, talking about business, talking about your closing. It's crazy how many, all of a sudden you look around and you just see everyone going like, all these aha moments.
Yeah.
But like you sitting around the dinner table during lunch or at night talking to the lads, like what have been some of the biggest realizations?
I think the big thing for me is just getting in alignment with like who I am currently, just getting super, super self-aware. And it's so much easier to do that when you're with people that are doing the same thing as you.
But can you not do that online?
You can.
There's so many communities where you've got like these closer communities, everyone's socializing online. Why not just stick to that?
Yeah. So you can do it online, but I think you're limited.
In what way?
Where you can actually do things in person and actually experience cool things.
So what do you think the benefits are from people meeting face to face and having this human interaction versus online?
It's tough to describe. I think there's just another element of it.
So hard to describe.
There's just another element of it when you're in person. What I always like to say when I was with my friends at home and we would have these deep intellectual conversations, I would call it hot boxing the room with ideas.
Yeah.
That's what we do here. Not once in a blue moon, not once, twice, 3 times a year. We're doing that every single day, multiple times a day. And that's where the growth comes from. You just lock yourself in a house with like guys that are like-minded, that are at the same place as you. And I'd say more importantly, want to go to the same places as you want to go. You get in such great alignment with who you want to become. And so obviously bouncing ideas off of each other helps everyone.
It's so true. I love that. And we've done so many crazy activities over the last 30 days. Yeah. Today's the last day. It's sad, you know, with everyone's put a lot of fun, effort and growth into the last 30 days. Do you have any highlights? Like, I'm sure you've got stupid amounts, but are there maybe 1 or 2 that really stands out, whether it's the activities or one of the coaches or the mastermind?
Yeah. I want to shout out Dan Lawson because I think he was one of the guys that gave me an aha moment. I think it was the 2nd, 3rd, 4th day, just in that first week.
Literally.
One of my goals coming in here was figuring out where I want to go. Like, what's my why? What do I want to do with my life? But he brought up the other perspective, which is who do you want to become? And I think where we want to go can change from time to time as we continue to live life, continue to experience new things and have new goals, meet new people. But who you want to become, I think that stays a lot more constant. And once you become the person that you want to be, then all these opportunities open up and you can go pretty much anywhere.
Absolutely.
But really one of my big highlights, and this isn't one thing, but I think the biggest thing has just been these little conversations that we have with you guys, with the people in the house, over lunch, over dinner, out by the pool at night, some soft music playing. Like, that's really been the big highlight, just these small conversations, but just super in-depth, super deep, and super transformative.
I love that, man. And then in terms of the actual brotherhood, the actual relationships you built in the house, was that expected?
I don't think so. You know, I expected it to be a good relationship while we were here. Like, we would connect pretty well, but then at that point, we'd kind of go our separate ways and, you know, go back to our other friends, and that'd be that, right? But I think we've really connected on such a deep level that it's impossible for us to not continue these conversations and continue to meet over, well, it'd be over Zoom. Yeah. We're already planning, you know, to go to Tulum October, November this year. So we got some excited things coming on.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because once you get out of your environment, like, don't get me wrong, it sounds like you got some really good friends back home. You like sitting around the table, doing the hot box of ideas and growing together, but they're not closers. They're not in your industry.
Right.
And all of a sudden you've come to a house where you've got, you know, 7 to 10 people here all the time talking about closing, about how to level up. there's so much more growth that happens there, right? But I don't want to assume, do you want to be a closer for the rest of your life? Or like, what's the next stage for you?
It's a great question. And that's one of the things that I also wanted to find out coming in here. And I'm not entirely sure. To me, the natural next step is moving into more of like a management consulting type role with sales, because I do like sales. I do enjoy it.
I can see you being very good at that.
Yeah. So that to me is sort of the natural next step. I've actually met some people here that help with that, with sales consulting, with, you know, management, that I'm going to be connecting with actually this coming week on Wednesday. And obviously talking to the guys here and getting their takes and their opinions and what they're going to be doing beyond sales, super powerful. But yeah, I mean, I like closing. I don't dislike sales, but absolutely not something I want to be doing forever.
What do you like about sales?
I like the human connection. I like the skill of actually speaking with people. And I think more importantly, like actually genuinely helping people, especially in the space that we're in, where we deal with people looking to transition from like having someone else in control of their time, income, location, to someone who literally wants to live the life that I'm blessed and able to live. Just such a passion of mine to help other people achieve the same things that, you know, I've been so blessed to achieve myself.
Do you think that good closers can get on the phone and help people that have never invested into themselves if the closer has never invested? You know, because a lot of the times you've got to know what it's like to be on the other side of the table. You need to be wearing your prospect's shoes and understand them and see where they're coming from. But do you think you could be making as much money as you do now if you never invested in yourself?
I don't think so. Because I remember the first investment I made in myself was not a lot. It was $1,500. I had probably $60,000 in my bank. I was terrified to make that investment. So I know how it feels to be at that point and on that side of the table. But without that one little decision, obviously there's a lot of micro decisions that go beyond that point. Like, I'd never be where I'm at right now.
But why did you make that decision and so many don't?
Because I knew that the life that I was heading down, or the path that I was heading down, was not what I actually wanted. It was a lie that I was telling myself that I wanted, because that's what my parents wanted, society wanted, school wanted for me, some of my friends wanted for me. So for me, it was actually getting alignment with who I wanted to be, and more importantly, being brutally honest with myself and making the decision to be honest with myself. And I don't think a lot of people can do that.
No. So then for those who can't do that, you know, you talk to at least 5 to 8 people on a daily basis, right? For those who are in that situation and you can tell that they don't want to get out of their comfort zone, or they don't know how do you change their lives? How do you change their perspective?
It's a decision-making frame, right? And I've experienced this in my own life, and this is why I have the conviction to say it. Everything that you could want, everything that you want in life is on the other side of one difficult decision. Now, obviously, there's a lot of micro decisions that go into play with it, but one thing is what propels you to all of these amazing things. And that one decision for me was leaving college. That was the hardest decision I had to make in my life, because the first time ever, I had to go against what my parents wanted, what the school system wanted. I had always been this poster child. And the biggest decision of my life, I'm going against that. But without that one decision, there is no Mexico City trip. There is no $45,000 a month. I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't have met you guys, right? So everything you could possibly want is on the other side of one difficult decision. And that's what I love to portray to people. And it's really the decision-making process that gets us to where we want to be.
But then when you speak to people that don't have the financial capacity to invest, and they may have to get a loan, is it the same process?
100%. And it comes down to belief at the end of the day. Sales is a transfer of certainty. So if that person is so certain, and that's your job to transfer that certainty to them, if they're so certain that if they put the money in, they do the work, that this is going to work for them and they're going to get that return, then they're going to get creative and they're going to find ways to do it.
I mean, talking to you now and knowing you getting to know you for the last 30 days, you've got a beautiful energy, a great amount of confidence. You speak amazing, but not a lot of people are born that way. You know, I think you've got a great ability to have this confidence, but for those who want to kind of get into closing and don't have confidence within themselves and the way they speak, what would you recommend? What would you suggest?
Reps.
Just getting the
Reps. So for me, I wasn't actually that good at speaking to people. I was a little bit shy. I was a little bit timid. And then I got the job working at a shoe store. And I talked to dozens of people every single day.
Dozens of feet.
100%. Some of them smelled pretty bad. But that was the reps that I needed to actually get over like my fears of talking to people, because I'm just doing it consistently day over day for over 2 years. My manager on my offer right now, I mean, he would literally go to the tallest building in his city, get in the elevator and just go up and down and hold a conversation with somebody from when they got in the elevator to when they got to their floor. The elevator is like the most awkward place for so many people.
The awkward silence, right?
Yeah. So go somewhere, go to a building, get in an elevator, talk to people, go to a grocery store, just make conversation, get those reps in. And if you could do it with people that are cold, you can do it with somebody that's coming onto your call.
Yeah. And that kind of goes back to my networking speech that I did the other day. You know, I think it's so important that if you aren't confident and if you want to kind of start going networking, meeting people, it's so easy just to compliment people, right? To break the ice. But how do you do that if you're going to go to network meetings? Do you want to kind of build up the reps while you're there, or do it before you go? So what I always suggest is for 30 days, go and just give a random personal compliment. One a day for 30 days, give someone a random compliment. Could be someone at the bus stop, could be someone in the supermarket. Because once you get the reps in, it becomes natural. And you say it genuinely, you know, from the heart. So, and it's the same with sales. It's repetition. Mm-hmm. But coming back to the house, we've done so many activities, man. What's been the one that's really stood out? I know there's been too many.
To be honest, it's been this whole 3-day stretch. So Friday, sound healing, which I'm not really like woo-woo. I'm not really into that stuff. But I don't meditate. This was the first time I've done anything like this. It was incredible. I'm going to be going back consistently to do that.
It was incredible.
Just the way that it makes you feel, the way that it makes you relaxed. I mean, at the end of it, we had to share like how we were feeling at the end, and like
the sharing circles.
Yeah. I wasn't speaking from my brain. I was speaking from my heart, which is a feeling like words were just coming out of me and I couldn't even control it. So that followed up. Go ahead.
That's beautiful though, because I remember the first day we all got here, we did like a little men's circle, sharing circle. No one opened up.
Yeah.
You know, there's a bunch of like random guys, never met each other. And it's like, okay, well, I'll kick it off. This is what a men's circle is. I started speaking about some, you know, pretty sensitive things. And everyone went around the room and didn't really open up. We went round again, started to open up. But fast forward in 30 days, you just said you could sit there and you're talking literally from the heart, pouring your heart out to people. And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's a process. You can't, you know.
Yeah. And you ease into it. And I think that the sounds and just that environment, and again, like being around these people that I've been around for a month and developed these awesome connections with, the fact that I can open up to them more than I can open up to people that I've known 10, 15 years is just insane.
Why though? Like, why can you not do the same with your group of friends at home?
I think that there's some, I guess, preconceived notions or some prior opinions, beliefs about those people and what they think about you that are just a little bit hard to break sometimes. So sometimes, you know, you come to people like this in a clean slate environment. They don't know you. You don't know them. And
you can just be your true authentic self.
100%. You can almost reinvent yourself in a sense. I think that's what's happened to a lot of us here. We've talked about that. You know, we've had the conversations. But yeah, the sound healing was incredible, followed up by the charity day, which I thought was awesome. And then the ATVs yesterday, which was...
Did you crash?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Which time, man? No, it was, I don't know if it was me or the bike. I'll take blame for it. I don't know if I wasn't leading, but they switched the ATVs and I was fine. But
what do you mean you switched the ATVs?
Yeah, so my ATV, I was going up a hill and like 2 times in a row, the chain came off. So mine was like messed up, I think. And
but hang on a minute. A chain falling off isn't the same as you turning into a bush.
Well, that's the thing, is I don't know if the turning was working. Yeah.
That's so funny. I love that. And then going back to the mastermind that we did.
Yeah.
Because I saw you taking down a load of notes. We had 5 amazing people there. What was the biggest takeaway from there, and who was it?
I would say it was Adam's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because you want to go into the management.
Yeah, exactly. So that I think related a lot to me and to where I want to go. Obviously, I had the pleasure of learning from Adam.
Is a beast.
End of last year. And I mean, yeah, just to be transparent, that's the reason that I came here. Right? It's
amazing.
Because of him. I wanted to learn from him more in depth than I already did over Zoom for a month.
Yeah.
And being able to come here, just incredible. And I think that talk there just recapped it.
But what about it though? Because it went into so many details about management, hiring, scaling.
Yeah.
Was it the whole part? Or was it something that really sit down and you're like, okay, that makes sense. That's why I want to go into sales, into management.
I think, yeah, it was the detail. Like just the fact that he went so detailed. I think a lot of the time sales managers and us in general, we think it's so simple. And then I hear that and it's like, shit, I don't know anything. Like there's so much more to this than I actually thought. And being able to learn that, and obviously the more you know, the more you realize you don't know anything. And that's kind of the point that I'm at now in terms of just soaking that up, learning it all. Thought the onboarding and the offboarding processes were super dialed in, and obviously being able to see that firsthand from one of Adam's offers he was managing. Yeah, I mean, it's the proof is in the pudding.
I think that's the biggest issue with this industry at the moment is you have a lot of closers be like, I've been on a few offers, I can manage a team. And then they start managing teams. It doesn't really work. And all of a sudden you have like a bad reputation when it comes to sales managers in the industry. You have a lot of business owners putting their hard-earned bucks back into marketing, building a team. And if the team isn't run properly, they lose money. They're going to start spreading the words that sales managers don't work. And it's tough. But then when you see someone like Adam, who truly has a process that works, from the onboarding to the offboarding, all the small little nuances that needs to take place. There's so much in that puzzle that people don't see. Right? So at the end of the day, a lot of people go into management. There's so many missing pieces to the puzzle. It doesn't work. So that's why, when Adam starts taking over a team, starts taking over an account, it's so smooth.
Yeah.
We prevent so many things from happening. And we also prevent, if there are businesses not ready, we're up front. We're not going to pretend to be like, oh yeah, give me your business. We're going to try and make it work because it will look bad on us.
Yeah, 100%.
So when do you want to get into management?
When
do you think you're going to be ready to make that change?
Very soon here, to be honest, within the next few months. I've been in this space for not a lot of time, but what I have had the pleasure of is learning from some of the best people in the space. Yeah. From Adam, from a manager, one of the offers I did originally. And the offer I'm on currently is managed by a big name in the space, who I won't say who. And just being able to see the ins and outs of those businesses, how they operate, how from the very top all the way down to just the simple SOPs, the KPIs, how all of that is laid out and super dialed in. I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of the baseline of it. I'm not fully there yet. And that's where I'm wanting to actually have somebody that can help coach me on managing itself. One thing to know the closing processes and the SOPs and, all of that, to actually manage a team, manage people, sometimes a lot of people, that's a whole new ballgame.
Everyone's motivated by something different. The majority are motivated by money. Some are motivated by appreciation. Some are motivated just to be part of a savage team. If you look at a lot of people that come from the army, or let's say football teams, rugby teams, they're so used to brotherhood. Yeah. They're so used to being in a group, and it's about culture. So how can you build the right culture? How can you micromanage being with need be? How can you put in the systems? How can you keep them motivated? How you can kind of see how you can educate them on changing small little things to make, huge outcomes. So no, there's a lot to it, but it's so fun. Yeah. I've been doing it since the age of 26, 11 years. Yeah. I've been managing now for the last 11 years, and you learn a lot about yourself as well.
Yeah.
Learn a lot about your patience, your ability to inspire, to lead, because there's a massive difference between a manager and a leader. You can manage people, but you also need to lead by example.
Yeah.
And if you're not congruent with what you do, people are going to look at you and be like, what do you do? Why should I listen to you? But you've really got proof in the pudding. You've made good amount of money. You're a solid closer. You're disciplined. You know exactly how to change people's perspectives. And again, what you're doing now is you're actually moving in the next couple of months from closer to a manager, but it's the same as changing people's perspective at the end of the call. Sometimes closers need to see things from a different point of view. Yeah. So I love that.
Yeah.
Now, obviously coming into the house, you've now got a beautiful group of new brothers that have inspired you to kind of stay in contact, do more. But a lot of people that may be thinking about, I don't really know if I could be in a house for 30 days with random people. I don't know if I want to go to a Nomadic Closer House. Like, should they? And why should they?
Most definitely. Right? Because I think a lot of the time we fall victim to thinking we, again, have it all figured out. We know everything. We're in the right environment. And then you go somewhere else and you're like, that's not what I want to be doing. And so being in an environment like this where you're with people, again, every day, all day, of course, you need to find that balance between staying focused on your work and doing your thing, and then also being able to socialize, make those connections, have those conversations, do the fun activities. But at the end of the day, it's a transformative experience that you'll never forget. You'll never find more value than being around the right people and doing things with these people, which are bringing you ultimately closer together. And it's connections and ideas and frameworks that you're going to remember and take with you the rest of your life.
I love it. I love it. So for those who are thinking of joining the house and maybe a little bit scared to get out of their comfort zone, or maybe a little bit scared to, because they've never really been out of their own environment, how would you suggest them to get out of that way of thinking?
I think you got to just take the jump. I think that's what it just comes down to.
What I would know what we don't know, right?
You don't know what you don't know, but what you should know and what you should have conviction in is the people you're going to be around, the leaders that are going to be there. So you, Adam, Harlan, again, I just said, I did this because of Adam. I knew him, I trusted him, and I knew that this would be an awesome experience. And obviously he knows and trusts you guys. So I knew it'd be the same thing.
Amazing.
You guys vetted all the house people. I knew it'd be the same thing. So I think just having the right people in place, that's the structure to a good business, good organization, and a good event like something like this.
I love it. I love it. Thanks, brother. Is there anything else you want to mention before we cut it?
No, I mean, all I could say is thank you. Thank you for the awesome experience. This has been better than I could have ever imagined. And I look forward to taking all the things that I've learned and just really implementing them. There's a lot to digest. There's a lot to soak in. But over these next couple of months, I'm going to take all that, put it actually into practice. And I've experienced that things can change so quickly, especially in a space like this. I mean, just mind-blowing. And I'm really excited to see, how the next couple of months go for myself and for everybody here.
I'm rooting for you, bro. I can't wait to watch your journey.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Oh, man, thanks for coming to the house. Thanks for inspiring me as well. Seeing you so young, achieving so much, having so much confidence. I always learn from everyone here as well. It's not just us giving value. We're receiving so much value from you guys as well. Always coming in with, open minds and just always being in that learning phase.
Yeah.
So again, I appreciate you, bro. I really do. I know the guy speaks so highly of you as well. And other than that, brother, I wish you all the best. I
appreciate it.
do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you, man.